TGR News, broadcasting from the State of Israel.
Welcome back to TGR News.
Hello, hello.
Well, this week we'll talk about how the Israeli civil war is now somehow a topic the people are talking about now.
Yeah.
And new problems we are having with our neighbors, Jordan and Egypt, and what they're planning for Israel.
Yeah.
But first, let's say thank you. Thank you so much for everything you guys do. It is such a blessing and such an honor and such a wonderful thing to be able to be a part of the work of God, to be able to feed the people here in the state of Israel through your help, through your support. It is something absolutely. It's sometimes it's so emotional. It's breathtaking. It's just it's an amazing thing to be able to be a part of. It is you know, from the outside, it might look like it's a lot of work, and it is a whole lot of work, but I don't see it as a whole lot of work. I see it as a gift. It's a gift that God gave us to be the ones to go out and feed the people here in Israel.
Yeah.
It is an amazing thing. The people are so desperate for it, and there's so many more people that need it. And share these videos and talk to people that you know that maybe think the same way we do, and would be blessed to be able to be a part of such a wonderful thing and feeding the people here in the state of Israel. Talk to everyone you know in your churches and everything. Maybe we can grow, and together we can feed who knows how many people.
Yeah.
We can feed them all.
Yeah, exactly.
God willing, we'll feed them all. If we get the support, we'll feed them all. Absolutely. Yeah. Amen. Yeah. Well, I guess we better get started.
Yeah, let's do it.
At the beginning of the week, 80,000 protesters hit the streets of Tel Aviv to protest our new government and the laws they are passing, especially the moves the coalition is making to get the Supreme Court to be more transparent in its works. The left wing is calling this the possible beginning of the Israeli civil war. I don't believe that to be true. I believe that that in a short time, the left-wing people will see the good and the difference in our daily security and the price of living. This will make them come around, at least settle down if they don't come around and they don't come on board. I'm not saying they're going to become right-wing people.
Yeah,
I'm just saying they'd settle down and stop this this craziness that they're talking about.
Hopefully. Yes.
80,000 people in the streets, and that's just the beginning. This is, you know, it is serious.
It's big.
It's big, but I do. Well, first of all, I don't believe Israel's going to have a civil war. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I don't think we can. No one in Israel, left or right wing, no one in Israel thinks that we could be in such a big turmoil where we're fighting each other during the time we have all these neighbors that are looking to destroy us, like Iran and even closer neighbors. There's no civil war is not something that could happen in the state of Israel.
Yeah.
It's just not. And, you know, it's just a certain amount of people who are talking about it. But Israelis are not that dumb to go into civil war when the rest of the world, all your neighbors in your neighborhood want you dead.
Yeah, just trying to make panic and scare people. Former Prime Minister Lapid and former Defense Minister Gantz are the main instigators and are the politicians that put civil war into the conversations. They are the initiator. Yeah. Lapid, while calling everyone to act out and refuse to follow the laws of our new coalition and to fill the streets with protesters, he was asked if he is going to be with the protesters. His answer was, "I'm busy, but my family will be there."
Yeah, this guy
sounds very...
he's really into it. Yeah, Lapid and Gantz are the two main instigators, like you said, of this whole civil war conversation that's up now in Israel, and it's ridiculous. And like I just went into it. I won't say it all over again about how we can't be going into a civil war. But I mean, it just shows you. He puts out all these ridiculous statements and and asks the public and his followers to do so many things like disobey the law. Is one of the things he's asking them to do, and then when they ask him point blank, well, you know, this what you're asking your followers to follow you and do, are you be there? He goes, no, I'm not going to do it. I won't be there. That's just like
very
Lapid.
Serious.
Yeah, that's just like Lapid. For the first time in a long time, on the news this week, it showed that the price of homes has gone down. Now, it wasn't a big drop, and not all over the country. But in comparison to the last year, when the prices of homes went up 20% in 1 year, it is an amazing news. If we remember last week's speech from Netanyahu, where he showed how he is bringing down the prices of fuel, water, electricity, and property tax, it doesn't take a genius to see that things are getting better slowly.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying Israel's going to become an affordable, cheap place to live in the next year or even 4 years. Israel's always been expensive, and it's always going to be expensive. And the world inflation is always around, and things are going to continue to get more expensive. But because of this past government jumped so far, so fast, and I don't know why they did it. Well, Lieberman, we know he's the old Minister of Finance. We know he's bad. We won't go into any details.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I don't know, but so that's why he just really put it to the people with raising prices everywhere, everything, raising prices of fuel and everything. So the only reason why Bibi's able, I believe, to bring prices, even not only to stop sometimes of the prices, but even the price of homes somewheres are starting to come down. He's be able to do things to make the prices come down is because of the past year and a half, how far it went in overpricing. So now he has a place to go bring it back to normal, which is still would have been a little bit more expensive, slowly. You know, it's not like everything's cheap here now, right?
No.
Yeah. Come to Israel, you'll see how expensive everything is.
Yeah,
especially if you're coming from America, you'll be amazed at how expensive everything is.
No, I got used to it lately. So, yeah. In this past year, the IDF lost 44 soldiers. This is a sad truth that we have to live with. These are young men and women between 18 and 21 for the most part. Just this week, an 18-year-old soldier died from his own mistake. He picked up a dud grenade and put it in his bag in his room, and during the night it blew up in his room, killing him and injuring three other soldiers. It is hard enough to lose our young men and women in wars, but to lose them in ways that could have been stopped, it's unforgivable. Just a human mistake for young, they're young.
It's rough.
18, 19 years old.
44 soldiers.
He was
He
was only 5 months in the military, in the IDF, and it's sad.
Yeah, 44 soldiers. You know, Israel's not a huge population. We're 9.5 million. 2.5 million out of that are Arabs, the Israeli Arabs. So you're talking about 7 million Jews. You take off the old people, the young people, when you just narrow that down to 18 to 21, you're talking about, maybe a million less, a few hundred, quite a little less than a million people. So 44 of those young people this past year died. It's you send your kids in Israel, you don't have a choice. It's mandatory, the military here. And it's a sad thing to lose them in such a way, but...
just to compare, last year we lost 35.
Yeah.
So this year was really, really bad.
Yeah, well, we had more acting up this past year.
Yeah.
We know who was at the helm this past year and how crazy everything got.
Yeah.
So hopefully that also go back down. Well,
Pray for that.
Yeah. Well, Aviv Kochavi, the former commanding chief of the IDF, as of this week, was interviewed for an hour, and the main points he talked about were first that the IDF has been getting stronger and smarter than ever, the ability to make missions last shorter time and cause longer times of peace and quiet has been a successful strategy that we have achieved. He went on to talk about the growing threat from the Arabs with Israeli citizenship and the preparations the IDF has made. 4 brigades have been made that are training and ready to be back up for the Israeli police in case of need to help with this problem in this new front.
Yeah.
And of course, he talked about the Iranian threat. He mentioned the level of intelligence and ability the IDF to make missions and cripple Iran in its plans. It is obvious that there were many things he couldn't talk about, but for overall spirit of the interview is as long as we stay diligent and step ahead while not backing down because of global pressure, Israel will be able to stay safe. You know, it was a good speech he gave. He talked. Like I said, you could tell obviously there's a whole bunch of things he can't talk about.
Yeah, of course.
It was his leaving speech, departure speech, because like I said at the beginning of all that, he's out, and Herzi Halevi is in, the new commanding chief, so it was he talked basically that we're doing good, we're able to keep ourselves safe, and the main feeling that you got across from him was if the government stops tying the IDF hands out of fear of what global, like UN in America thinks, then we'll be okay. But if the Israeli politicians stay underneath the UN control or the White House control, then we could probably be in pretty big trouble real quick.
Yeah.
That was basically what he was saying. On Monday, during the ceremony of the new commanding chief of the IDF, Herzi Halevi, Hamas released a video showing Mengistu, an Israeli hostage that they had been holding for over 8 years. This was, by the way, this was the first live video of him ever released in 8 years, showing him alive and well, or supposedly alive and well. This was to interrupt the ceremony and to cause some sort of distress in the Israeli public. Most likely this was a fake video because it was most likely that they killed him long ago. That's what I think. And I'll get into a few things why. Nevertheless, Israeli intelligence is working to figure out if this is real or not. Netanyahu made a public statement saying to the new commanding chief, do not forget that our number one enemy is Iran, and don't get distracted by all this other stuff. You probably have something you want to say, but I want to say I think it is fake for a few reasons. Number one, like when Gilad Shalit, I don't know if you guys remember him, when he was held captive, and all the people that were held captive over the years by Arabs, them trying to get us to give them so many things. They're very good, just like in the movies, having them holding up newspapers, that show the date and make sure it's real. And another thing is we know about all this fake stuff. We could put a video together, have anybody you want say whatever you want, because it's just so easy. Anybody can do it now on the internet. And also, it was such a short video. So short. It was like 3 sentences, and it was all cut up. There was no, I felt like it might have been fake. What do you think?
I think it was real. I actually think it was real, but I trust your experience and your opinion. I hope maybe it was just wishful thinking. I hope he's okay. I hope he's alive.
Of course.
I hope we won't trade killers with blood on their hands, like thousands, like we used to do, and let them go free for one person. And I know it sounds bad. It's somebody's boy, it's somebody's son, but those killers that we released, they came back and killed Jews later. So we have to think wisely and,
Yes, absolutely. The public had sort of made their peace and said pretty clear that we don't want another Gilad Shalit agreement. Everyone's all for getting our boys back. Absolutely. But just like you said, the public is not ready to release thousands of terrorists that have killed people just to get the one person back. I mean, that's true. That's what the public is saying. That's not what the family member of the hostage is saying, of course. But and everyone can understand that. You can't.
Well, I hope he's alive.
And I hope we get him home. But it's been 8 years.
Yeah. The Jordanian ambassador was stopped by the Israeli police officer while trying to go to the Temple Mountain. Even though once the officer realized that he was the ambassador and immediately allowed him to go to the Temple Mountain, Jordan is now trying to make a big deal about it. And leaders of Jordan, Egypt, and Abu Mazin meet to talk about how they are going to make peace here in Israel. a two-state solution.
Yeah, obviously that talking about a two-state solution. Yeah, don't you feel calm now that Jordan and Egypt and Abu Mazin, the Palestinian Authority leader, are going to figure out how to make peace here in Israel?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I'm sure. We can stop doing the news now. Everything's good. They're going to figure it all out. We're in their hands now.
We'll see you.
Yeah,
We'll see you.
yeah, peace in the Middle East finally. Yeah, what a joke. Yeah, they're going to figure out by themselves how to figure this all out here.
Yeah,
and then make peace there. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Yeah. Well, anyway, this week Netanyahu had found himself in a tough spot with Aryeh Deri. Aryeh Deri, by the way, is the Sash leader. I always say that wrong.
Shas.
Shas. I saw you.
Shas. My mouth moving.
Shas leader, one of the religious parties in the coalition in the government. And so the decision of the Supreme Court that Deri is disqualified to be appointed as minister. Deri has been with Netanyahu for a long time, and Netanyahu has made it clear that he wants him as a minister in the government. What that means now going forward, we don't know, but one thing for sure, it has put him in a difficult position between firing Deri and possibly breaking up the coalition, or keeping Deri in a position as minister and becoming a government that does not follow the law. So it's a sticky situation, and it's what's on the news every day, all day, from morning to evening. That is what everything is main thing people are talking about right now, because it's huge, because the Supreme Court put itself in a position where now the government it's deciding who can be in the government and not, while the government, the coalition, right, the party leaders are supposed to be able to put their own party together and figure out how they want. It's sticky. So if Bibi does or doesn't do it, it could be either way. It's a sticky situation.
Yeah.
So who knows what will happen? Hopefully it'll work itself out this week. But it just seems like poor Bibi never gets a break. Every time he turns the corner, it just bam, 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 right? And look how many things. It's been only days. You can count the days he's been prime minister again. And you look at the last 3 videos we put out and just take a list of the things that he has approved, that he has improved in the state of Israel.
Yeah.
Security, prices are starting to act, at least the prices of things are not going continuously straight up.
Yeah.
At least most of them, he stopped the inflation.
The fuel went down.
13 agarot,
yeah.
which is what?
Cent,
which is what? That would be 3 cents.
I think.
Yeah, about 3 cents it went down, which is something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when it's $6 a gallon.
Yeah.
3 cents doesn't. But 3 cents is 3 cents.
It's something.
It's instead of going up, which is how it has been.
Yeah.
Right. No.
Well, I don't think Bibi is so poor. I think Bibi is very smart, very wise, and we talked about it that maybe he even thought about the situation before, and he had it in his mind, and he already know how to act. He's very quiet now. He don't make any statement.
But he usually is quiet. If you look at all of the years he's prime minister, he's not one of those
talking too much,
talk a lot kind of prime ministers. He just does things. He just does get things done,
which is most important.
Which is exactly most important. Like even in his campaigns, you don't see him out promising this, promising that. No. Basically, his campaign is very short. You know who I am. You know what I do. Vote for me, right?
Yeah.
So he doesn't talk a lot usually, but I do think it's possible what you're saying, that he has all of this played out beforehand in case this, it's very possible.
Yeah.
Well, you got anything you want to say?
Yeah. I want to ask you guys to pray for Israel that we have rain. It's been very dry winter.
Yes, it has.
The driest one for 15 to 20 last years.
Yeah,
very dry, and our crops are dying, and we have problems. And let's hope we have some nice rainy days.
Yep, pray for Israel. for rain and for peace and for for everything and for strength and for good leaders and pray for helping feed as many people here in the state of Israel, the people that are in need. And like we said, talk to the people that you think that might be interested in. I'm sure you know someone, at least a few people, if not at least one, that would love to be able to feed the Jews here in the state of Israel. Let's feed as many as possible. I'm ready to do it. So count on you guys.
Yes.
So don't forget to join us on thegoldenreport.com. And until next week.
Shabbat Shalom.
God bless.